Proper Punters, brought to you by CrossBet. Are you ready to level up your punting game?
Welcome back to Proper Punters. We had 2 weeks off. My man here, Tommy Forward, you died.
Yeah, mate.
Back from the dead.
Resurrected, ready to get these bookies.
I'll tell you what has died, the quality of the racing fields.
Yeah, I know. And the weather, mate. We've had sloppy tracks, sloppy racing. Hopefully some better weather this week and some nice ones, which we might talk about.
We didn't do the show for the last 2 weeks. I just put out a couple of reels with the best bets. I think the first week we're unlucky not to go 3 from 3. A little bit of dart throwing, a bit lucky there, I think. And then last week, tipped a winner early, and then, two other okay runs. But we've had a look through. Look, I think the racing doesn't look too bad. One thing is, at least we're going to have a dry track.
Yeah. Forecasting a dry track in Sydney should be good. Hopefully clean ground.
Yeah.
Rails out 4 at Rosehill, which could.
One thing I usually find about this time of year, yes, the quality of fields aren't as good, but other than the wet weather we've had, the racing, the track and the bias itself trends to race more true to whatever it is. Mm-hmm. So you can tend to find a pattern relatively early, and then you can kind of sift through it.
Yeah, I think in carnivals, the good horses can overcome biases, whereas off carnival, some of the lesser quality animals.
And when you do find a track that does have a heavy bias, you can really pan a lot of the field, and you can find value before the rest of the market sometimes does.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, well, so we've got Rosehill. We're going to preview pretty much races 5 to 9, and we're all, just because it's a pretty interesting race, and we've got a bit of an opinion in race 1. We're going to start off with race 1, but before that, rail is in the 4 metres.
Yeah.
Traditionally, on a good track, 6 metres is relatively on pace on fans. What are you thinking? And off?
Yeah, up and off to up and in. Sort of the first 4 in run, lead, OSL, box seat, and sort of the 1-1, I think will be where you want to be.
You certainly don't want to be looking for horses, especially in the, say, mile to sprint races or 1800 to sprint races, coming from dead last.
Unless you come back and inside, like a Jason Collett run, I think you can see come up the fence, perhaps.
I find with the staying races, it can sometimes be a little bit different, but you still don't necessarily want to come from last and certainly not wide. But as you said, they can sometimes, weave their way through.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, we're going to kick off with race 1. You've currently got Private Harry, $2.15. You've got The Blade at $3, and then the rest are all in double figures.
Yep.
To me, you've got Manuscript at $7.50. I guess that's less than 10. The 7.5 really threw me there. Yeah. But why don't you quickly take us through the map, and then let's discuss.
The map's interesting. I think it determines sort of the key chances. Private Harry and Manuscript have won their recent racing by leading throughout, setting the tempo. Private Harry drawn inside Manuscript this time, but I think there could be some tactics. If Manuscript really pushes the button and Tim wants to lead, then I think Private Harry may give it up, just stepping up to the 1200. The one thing I do know is that I think the Blade will get a nice run. Gate 6 just off the speed in a running line position, and if Private Harry and Manuscript cook each other and go a bit too quick, it's the one that'll be finishing over the top. I've got Manuscript crossing Private Harry and Private Harry having to settle in the OSL. But if Ash Morgan shows some intent, he might be able to hold off Tim Clark. Fascinating sort of that Hawkesbury when it was dynamic, 7 lengths, eased up, $1.40. Didn't beat much, but the clock backed up the visual. Yeah. Now it's got to do it in town. Now it's got to do it up to 1,200 metres, and it's got to do it on another fast 1,200 metre tempo. So there's some things against it, but I mean, it's quality. I think at this time of the year anyway. I think it's a good horse. What are your thoughts, Mace?
I obviously had an opinion of both of them out of the trials. The horses had clearly found out of the trials there was no value in it in its first up run. Private, it was very short its first start, and then once again it was very short again. So this is going to be the first time where it's currently in black odds. He's a horse that still looks green as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if he's got a bit of a funny action. I don't know if he's lost. I don't even think this horse still knows what he's doing.
No, not at all.
But I love the way in his last 200 to 100 metres, the way he accelerates. He literally, and I still don't think he knows what he's doing yet, but the way in which he pulls away from them and length and stride is really, really, really impressive.
He's by Harry Angel, so there's no surprise that if he gets up to 1,400 even, like that breed typically can handle further. I mean, the way he's hitting the line suggests that more distance will be not a problem. Just having to settle in the breeze, I think, is a tough ask coming into town, especially taking $2.10. I don't want to be settling outside the leader, especially over a tight turning Rosehill. I think just having a rail to follow will be more beneficial.
Yeah, so what, you're against him at the 215?
Yeah, I think he's on top for me. I'm more against the Blade. I think the Blade, right now, until proven otherwise, might be a wet track type. I loved its win at Kensington. The way it glided through that turf was unreal. Terrific action, but it could have been more visually impressive due to the fact that others didn't handle that slop. Second and third, or third and fourth in that race, were on that inside rail, which was just quicksand that day. And so they were going backwards while the Blade was accelerating, and perhaps that made the visuals look more impressive.
So I remember that day because he was a horse I wanted to be on off his trial. He just looked like he had oodles of ability. And then but he had trialled well on the heavy track, but I still was more preferable to back him on the dry. And then that track deteriorated really fast. But you had a horse like there was Alpine Ski where there's a bit of a rap for it. I think Johnny the Kid was in the race also. There was a bit of a rap for him as well at the time. Like he really put them away, and I thought it was quite impressive. But as you said, it was on a heavy track. You want to see him do it on a good, even though he did trial on a good. I thought his trial was a pass mark without being exceptional.
Without being wow, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going at this one. I'm going with the fit horse. He's going to be up there on the pace.
What price do you want?
To tell you the truth, it's a funny one because the 215, I would not be surprised to see him start $1.70 on the day, and the Blades start $4.50.
Yeah.
So I like, and I could get this completely wrong, but I would almost be open to taking around 215, 220. If it's there first thing Saturday morning, I'd almost take it then because I reckon there's a big chance it could start short.
Yeah.
Unless there's a huge push for the Blade. And like one thing with the Hawks, they can have their horses a little bit underdone first up.
Yeah.
But they can have them both. I would not be surprised to see it. So
they're an intense stable. If they want to win fresh, they can win fresh.
Yes, or they can just have it as just a complete practice, and then he's there second up, ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, correct.
I think this is a horse that they have some version of a wrap on. I don't think he's certainly not going to be showing in 10, and I don't think that's going to be suited race 1, Rosehill, Saturday.
Resuming this time of the year, what targets are ahead, do you think?
It's a bit of a weird one.
Where do you sort of figure out his intent and where they want to send the horse?
Like, could he be a Magic Millions horse?
I just looked in the markets. He wasn't in the futures at this stage.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It seems weird to bring him back at this time, like unless he's just in for one or two runs and then put him back out.
Bring him back in Feb.
And then bring him back, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's just a really strange set up for a horse from a stable that's a carnival stable to look to be a horse that looks like he in time will be.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Okay.
Maybe they were trying to get him ready in the spring and he had a setback. I'm not sure. Could be an odd one. Not sure.
Yep.
I'm going with Private Harry. I do think it's a race in 2. I'm definitely against Manuscript.
Yep.
And the rest can lick my balls.
Yep.
I definitely don't want to be with the rest of the market.
Yeah.
No. I thought it looks a race in 2, and I'm going with the favourite.
Yeah, market will be critical over those 2 on Saturday.
Mate, the market could very much tell the tale.
Yeah.
But it's a funny one. Like if I took the 215 in the morning and he got to stupid odds short, and the other one got to say like $5, which you can easily see, I could easily cut him out.
Yeah.
Easily. And I'd happily do it. I couldn't care if the market, once he gets to like if he got out to even 470, 450, like you would almost, if you've taken 220 in the morning and had a good bet, I would almost cut the other one out at say $4.50.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense for sure.
Personally.
Yep.
just to be safe. All right, we're going to race 5. I know we've got a little bit of a difference of opinion here, but we'll kick off. We've got Shangri La Spring, $2.70-ish. You've got Darling Downs around... Sorry, you've got Fiddler's Green around the $3.70 mark. We've got Darling Downs around the $5 mark, and we've got Ravello at the 8, and we've got double digits the rest.
Yeah. Map looks pretty straightforward. Shangri La Spring looks the only leader in this race from 6. Tim can dictate as he pleases. Fiddler's Green, gate 3, plenty of options, but I think a midfield run, as well as Darling Downs from gate 5. It's been ridden off the speed and shown a nice turn of foot. They'll be looking to do the same. I'm with the map horse here in Shangri La Spring. I like the way it's won its 2, this preparation. It was full of running through the line. Gay Waterhouse putting her horses up in distance is a tick for me. And getting to a track that may suit up and off or up and in horses like we predicted is another advantage. So I was happy to take the 270 that's around. I'm around 220 my price. The only negative is if Tim goes too slow. We see it sometimes. These leaders get control. They put the brakes on and then...
Yeah, but fuck, he's got to be one of the best front-running riders.
And for that stable too, Gay would bloody ring him if he went too slow on one of her horses. So I think the tempo will
pull
be
him
right.
off by the year.
Yeah. But yeah, Fiddler's Green was well supported on tab. I think they went up 550 on Wednesday. It was into 350 for punters. Darling Downs coming off a win, have to respect. But I'm with the map horse here.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed with the way that Darling Downs let down last start. And beating a horse like Concordia Wind, who's then come out and won at Rosehill. It's coming off Kenzo form. Had the second before, that was a little bit disappointing, but when favourite. The win first up was definitely a pass mark. Always gave the indication it could be a horse that's got a little bit of ability. I thought might be a little bit of value. I didn't think would get as far back as I know the Stewards map have had it. I thought could definitely sit.
Yeah, small field. It could be.
It's a funny one. Like I wouldn't be surprised to see it 1 out, 1 back.
Yeah,
and then if not, it's like you're just 3 pairs back.
Yeah, correct.
So it's interesting to see what happens and where they go. But you've definitely got the map favour with your horse. I just thought, like at this point, you still. Oh no, it's 7 runners. Yeah, it's a tricky one. I'd be quite happy to back Darling Downs and save on Shangri La Spring.
Yeah,
I'm happy to be against Fiddler's Green here. I thought it kind of looked a race into. You could probably back it each way, only top 2 runners if you wanted to, but I'd probably give the 2-bet play of back Darling Downs and save on Shangri La Spring.
Yep.
But you think it's probably one of the better bets on the card by the sounds of it?
Yeah, I think it'll be one of the bets for me this weekend. I think just with the map, I'll be more confident after seeing the first 4 races if it's ticking that up and in pattern.
Yeah, if it is for sure.
Yeah, and I'll be betting.
I think it will definitely be starting a lot shorter if that
it is. Yeah, I'll be backing at race 1, race 2 if I see that pattern.
Yeah, nice. All right, move on to race 6. Now, this is a race I've found one at a bit of odds. I'm a little bit keen. Bullets High. It's really hurt the punters the last three starts, just getting beaten 2 of them.
What were we? We were on it at Newcastle, weren't we?
Oh, mate, I was on it the 2 starts prior. Nothing kind of... He just missed in a bob of the heads and then went back to the inside last start. Things just didn't really go right. And I definitely think he's ready for 2,000, but we'll talk about that in a sec. So he's 290 favourite. You've got Modesty around the 480 mark. You've got Moral, Moral. And it's at $9, and you've got Claim the Crown at the $9 also. So what's the speed look like?
Speed looks pretty solid. Celestial Fury and Moral from their low draws should just kick up from the inside. I think Claim the Crown and Modesty get nice maps from 4 and 5. And then a horse like Bullets High, 7 with Nash on. Midfield run is expected. And then out the back, you've got other horses that are in double figures. I was not too enthused. I was keen to hear your thoughts because you said you were quite keen on one here.
I'm really, really, really keen on a horse. The one, if it's a very leaderish track, that will be one thing that would take it. I wouldn't be as keen. If the track isn't dynamite, and you can make ground, and I think with 2,000 metres, you can sometimes see a little bit different, and there is a little bit of pace here. Good Banter. I've mentioned the horse. So if you go back and you look, it trialled. I made mention of it when we were coming into the carnival off the barrier trial. So it trialled exceedingly well. Give me one sec. Let me just get it up in front of me. So you've got it's trialled really well. Before that, it goes into the Walado race, which was at Rosehill over 1400, which was a leader-dominated race. The track was, I think, relatively leaderish, and that race was just a leader-dominated race, given none. It then goes in the Group 3 behind Lekfart. It was 3 and 4 wide without cover for most of the trip. Gets beaten 7 lengths. Just a complete forgive run. Then goes down to Flemington, goes to a benchmark 84, which was a pretty decent benchmark 84, gets beaten 2.6 lengths over the mile. And if you watch her in the straight, she was just starting to wind up and she didn't really have clear running. She's wide to have a stock. Last time she was at not last time, but when she got to the 2000 last time was in the Adrian Knox, she come out and won. She won, and it was a small margin the second, big margin the third, and beat the field confidently. That is genuine black type of her own age. They've got to go up and step up and do it as older horses. This is not a black type race.
Yeah.
Like, fuck me dead. Sharp shock. Like, these are not quality animals.
Yeah.
Look, I do think Bullet's High potentially still could be a decent stayer. I think the run last start and the lot went right, wrong part of the track. He's out to 2,000 metres, which he needs.
Yep.
Can definitely see him winning.
Yep.
I just think good banter. There's $19 around, $17. I think this is one of the best each way bets that I've seen in a while.
Love it. Yeah.
I do not know Billy Loughnane. I'm assuming he's Irish. I don't know anything about him. All I'm going to be saying is go on Billy at the 200, hopefully,
200.
and just watch him just let rip.
When he's sailing past.
She's a good horse. Like, I love when you see stayers trial well and then, like, she's getting out to a right trip. She's fourth up, 2,000. Yeah. She's in the benchmark 78.
Yeah.
And she's at 56.5 kilos.
Yeah.
She's won a Group 3 Adrian Knox.
Yeah.
I have not been this excited about a horse at odds since More Secrets when I declared it favourite and it's got beaten this and should have won.
At 30s.
Oh.
Sickening.
I just think, yeah, and if you wanted to back the two runners in the race, I'd probably be backing Good Banter and Bullet's High. But Good Banter each way, I think it's the best each way bet on the card, and I'll pretty much finish it. So, see you later.
Yeah.
No, tell me your thoughts.
I thought Bullet's High was too short. I think it's an open race. Love that you've tipped one at odds in a race where I think the field's open. I thought Bullet's High was more a $4 chance in this race. Yeah. Doesn't have sort of enough, like a strong enough resume, I don't think, to be $2.70. Nash on is a tick. The backup is a tick. Deep in prep, getting to the distance is all positives, but it just seems to find one better. Always be in the finish, look good, but just next start.
Ace High gets to 2,000. Like he's out. Like he's out to the right trip now.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. And Nash is probably the best rider on the meeting. I want $4 to be any sort of interest for me. Otherwise, I'll take the race off. Claim the Crown had some sort of a chance. I thought barrier 4. I thought it's just going to get a terrific run. Third up, the Nisham Yard. I thought it pulled out too early into the breeze last start. Should have waited on its run a touch. It was a big run-on race, and it just was a pass mark. Third up now. I think it can run okay, but it runs better in races, I think, where there's a hot tempo. So we'll see what happens there.
Okay. Well, that's it for the Good Banter Stakes. Move on to race 7. We have Driftnet at $3.30. We've got August Bloom at around the $6 mark. We've got Infatuation at around the $8. And we've got How Dare You at around $9, which was a little bit unlucky last start. What's the map look like here?
Tricky map. I think Infatuation will take it up for Rachel King and lead. I think there's plenty of intent here with Driftnet on the quick backup. Good draw, yes. I think. Tommy will be very positive on this horse. The horse won leading at Warwick Farm, sort of 5th and 6th up, Tommy on. So I think similar setup here. I think they'll want to be positive. Could hold Rachel out from the inside draw. And then August Bloom will go back from 10. How Dare You from 11 will also go back. but plenty of intent here with Driftnet. Just missed last start. Looked the winner, then ended up missing the top two. Gate 4, I like the backup. This horse isn't typical for the Godolphin stable where you think Fresh is best for this yard. I think this horse needs more runs under its belt. Deep in preparation is where we see its best. I think the 330 is slight value. I was $3. What about you?
Yeah, no, definitely. I was going to probably go with and betting very small, I'd be going with a Godolphin double play here. I'd be saving Driftnet and making How Dare You the result. Where it gets from the map could be a concern. Look, if the track's leaderish, I'd be probably favourite. I would actually make more of a result out of Driftnet. If the track's a little bit more fairer than what we were predicting, I definitely think How Dare You. Nothing went right at Canterbury. Trial before the run was really good. Just took forever to get out, and when got out, really worked through the line nice. I think the bigger track of Rosehill will definitely suit her.
Yeah.
I think she's a little bit of ability, this mare. I definitely think that she's definitely got something. I remember when she won at Scone over the 1,300 and they absolutely piled into her. And it's a funny trip, 1,300 metres. Like some horses just really like that 1,400 metres.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a funny distance. Mate, I would not be surprised to see some money for it. It's just a shame she didn't draw a little bit more of a gate. The outside alley could be the slight concern. And I have said it, I do like the kid, but Zach Lloyd from Wide Gates is not ideal. But we're getting $9 to find out. I'm happy to have something small on. I think it's relative. There's no moral in this race in my eyes, so I'm happy to go with the blue team.
Beautiful. Too easy.
We move on to the James Squires Rosehill Race 8. We have I'm In to Win, $3.40. We've got Kansana at around the $4.60 mark. We've got So Risque, $9. And
Beautiful.
Battleton hit the line all right last start at around the $10 mark. What's the pace like?
Tricky race here. Pace will be solid, I think. I'm In to Win and Highlights, gate 12 and 13. They'll spear across. Then you've got So Risk from a low draw, Nash on, Fresh. Will get a nice run. Tim Clark on Franz Joseph as well. Gate 3, blinkers on. I think they'll push forward. I think there could be a little bit of speed here. And then also Katili Spangler out the back. Tricky little race here. I didn't have any strong opinions. I thought I'm In to Win was a bit short. Loved its win Fresh, but staying at the same distance, 1,400, and off a dynamic win Fresh, there's a chance for some flatness. Has to do it tough from a wide draw. And if some of those low horses, such as Franz Joseph and So Risky, kick up, I think could make I'm In to Win work a little bit early. I was sort of $4 my price. I'm In to Win, so no edge there. I thought So Risk was a little bit of value. Nash on, Fresh. He has a good affiliation with this horse, and I think resuming in this race shows a lot of intent. Booking Nash, low draw, could be on the fence.
Yeah, definitely. I thought maybe a little bit of a roughy race here. Yeah, Friends Joseph for sure. Blinkers on. He's won 2 of the 3 at the track. He clearly likes Rosehill. Yeah. I love the application of blinkers. I think he's the best horse when he's ridden forward.
Yep.
He wasn't really ridden forward in his first 2 runs this time in. I think with the blinkers on, there's going to be a definite sign of intent, and I think you'll see him roll in a more forward position, and he's a little bit one-paced, and I think Tim Clark just needs to get him rolling relatively early.
Yeah.
So I think there's definite value around the $13, $12 mark for him. Another horse I've always had a bit of an opinion of. I thought hit the line okay. It's drawn a right and it's down in the way. It's Perfect Thought.
Yep. McAvoy, second up.
Yeah, McAvoy, second up. John Sargent definitely isn't what I would regard a first-up trainer. And he's absolutely done nothing really in the past first up this horse. So he's never placed first up. Has run second up, can improve. I just think could be a little bit of a bit of a rough hope. Fuck, $16. They're my 2 little plays at odds. Friends Joseph and Perfect Thought.
Sweet.
Race 9.
Time to boogie.
It is time to boogie. Big Tommy gun over there. Looks like he's ready for a big weekend. Time to boogie.
I know.
We've got $4. We've got the $4.50. Him, mate. Tri-State. They absolutely hammered. So let me just. It was $15 to $7 before the scratching.
Yeah, they smacked it on the
of Cigar Flick.
Yeah.
which is running in Queensland, and I believe you may be tipping, but we'll get to that when we get to the best bets. Bit of an open race. You've also got Fire Star at the $7. You've got Boston Rocks at the $8. You've got Dollar Magic at the $7. Sorry, I missed it. What are you thinking with the pace?
Solid pace. Rise of the Masses, Cruel Summer, Tri-State, Time to Boogie. I think they're going to roll along here. They'll go quick. Firestar is out in no man's land from 12. They'll press on. Boston Rocks from 6 as well. I think they're going to fly here. Looking at run-on horses, Fox Fighter, I mean, its best might be beyond it, but on its day, it can run home really well. Might be a wetty, but yeah, they're going to fly here. I didn't have a strong opinion. Time to Boogie, fresh from 11 with Rachel King on. Don't think that's the setup to run well in a race where they're going to expose sort of their fitness levels when they go this quickly. Tri-State, I didn't get on the market. I didn't get the text, but a 15s into 6s, even with your 20-cent deductions, is still crazy. They've just smacked it. Weak back up.
Absolutely smacked
Inside
it.
draw. The Rosehill 1100 is this horse's forte for getting a win. And yeah, the $6 was around my price. Now I can't get involved unless it bounces back out late.
Yeah, it'd be hard. It's certainly hard to take $6 now after seeing the 15s.
What do you think?
Mate, there's so many like kind of go forward horses here. It just wasn't a race that I was inclined to bet in. I started to look in. Yeah, it's an absolute nothing race for me. Yeah. I'm hoping that I've made some money.
Yeah,
earlier in the day, and I'm not even watching them by now. I've got a friend's birthday. A friend of mine, Big Ray.
Beautiful.
Looks like Mr. Chow. God love him. And we've got his party, and we'll be getting very ready for it by then. Hopefully, with a pocket full of cash.
Lovely.
But no, that's it for me. So what did you land on? You're with Tri-State, but can't really bet.
Yeah, I had it on top. I was against Time to Boogie. I was sort of $7 Time to Boogie. The 440 was crazy to me. I think we'll see some resistance late, but yeah, Tri-State on top. Don't want to touch the 6s though.
Yep. All right, we'll go into the best bets. I'll kick us off. All right, I'm starting early, so don't sleep in. We've got race 1, number 2, Private Harry. His 2 wins today have been absolutely enormous. This horse is green as grass, and I don't even think he knows really what he's doing yet, and he's just doing it in really, really good style. I think there's only one danger, and that's the blade. So if you can get the 225 or something on the day morning of, I'd probably be taking that. And if the blade, maybe if you desperately need to save, maybe take the Quinella. I think it's a match race in 2, and I want to be with Private Harry. I move on to race 5, number 7. We've got Darling Downs. It's around the $6 mark. It's only a 7-horse field, so you can back it each way if you want, but it has to run top 2. I was impressed with the way it hit the line. I just hope the track's not too leaderish. If the track is leaderish, I will be saving on Shangri La Spring. And then we move to my very best bet of the day. Race 6, number 9, Good Banter. This horse is a horse that's won an Adrian Knox. It's now in a benchmark 78. First 2 runs was unsuited. Its third up run down in Flemington over the mile was just starting to get really wound up late. I think she could be a pretty decently talented staying mare moving forward. You're getting $19 each way to find out. As long as the track isn't dynamite, this is probably one of the best $18, $19 pops I've seen in a long time. I'm having a good crack each way here.
I'll keep it short and sweet. I got 2 best bets. Rosehill, race 5, number 9, Shangri La Spring. I think this horse is flying this prep, still on the up. Comes into town now for Gay Waterhouse, and I think if the track pattern is suiting as I think, leaders will get their chance, and this horse at the 260 looks good value. But the best bet this weekend, Eagle Farm, race 5, number 3, Cigar Flick. I think this horse is flying. Its sectionals have been off the chart this preparation, and I think Waller takes it up to Queensland for an easy kill. The $1.80 looks value.
All right, thank you, my man. It's good to see you back to health. Hopefully we've been able to tip the punters into a couple of winners, and we will see you guys next week.
Cheers.
What are you prepared to lose today? Set a deposit limit. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.